Woo! It's the final countdown. The final countdown. I'm Lauren, everybody. I will be your singing host today and actually talking to you about tomatoes. If it's your first time watching, welcome. This is episode 4 of a, well, 4-part series. This is the last show that I'm doing to reveal my 2026 tomato grow list. I've done this, I think this is my third year, I think, doing this, doing like a reveal live on my YouTube channel, which is Mr. and Mrs. Tomato Head. If you're watching from Instagram, welcome. I can't see your comments come in. You can watch me, but I can't see you. So if I'm ignoring your comments, that's why. If you'd like to come on over and watch on my YouTube channel. I don't take a lot of comments on these reveal videos like I do my Thursday show, which will be tomorrow, which is called Lauren's Tomato Awesome Sauce. I take as many comments as I can. Here I do a few, but I have a lot of tomatoes to get through today. I decided that I wanted to make this my final episode. I've been doing 30 each show, which I think in the past I've done about 20 each show. So I'm getting there. Even with 30 today, I won't get through all of them. I think, and I still have to remove some. Anyway, watch my show tomorrow, the same time, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hope you can be there. Yeah, so I'm doing, if I were to do all of them, reveal all of them today, it would be probably about 50 more. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think I'm going to do that. And there's a lot that I have on my grow list that I'm either not at liberty to talk about or that there's no photos for. I'm looking at UGG. If you're watching, she's given me some spectacular Spanish varieties that won contests, like best tasting contests in Spain. And so there aren't photos of a lot of these. So I'm not really going to talk much about the ones that I don't have a lot of information on. And like I said, some I'm just not at liberty to talk about. And then, yeah, there's a couple other reasons. But I'm going to show you today my last, we are up to, we'll start today with variety 92. So we've talked about 91 varieties over the past month. And some are repeats. Today I'll be showing you a number of repeats that, I'm not all about discovering new tomatoes, even though I do love discovering new tomatoes and I do love sharing with you all. I have the good fortune of having so many of you sending me very rare seeds or things that I've been looking for a long time that perhaps aren't readily available. And so I grow them out and then I don't sell. I freely share with all of you so we can get these out into circulation. So I hope that you're as excited about the varieties that I'm growing as well as I am, because chances are you may get your hands on some seeds as well if it's something that you're interested in. If, again, if you're new to the channel, I co-run a group with Jen Joy and Kina Tonarud community on Facebook, the best tomato community on Facebook, not even just on Facebook, in the world, Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. We have about 10,400 something members. We've been in existence not even 3 years yet. And we are a great place if you're a beginning grower, so you can learn. There are no stupid questions. And we're also a great place for people like me who've been growing for 30 years. There's always something to learn. I am a forever work in progress. I am no expert by any means. I don't pretend to be an expert. I know what I know. I know what I've grown. I know what I learn. But with gardening, everything is so in flux. There's nothing really set in stone when it comes to gardening. Those of you who've been gardening a while know exactly what I'm talking about. No season is the same back to back. I have certain things that I find that work really great for me. Seed starting is one of them. I found a method that I love that I think works really well for me. Will I tweak it in the future? Maybe. But in general, I think anybody that says it's got to be this way, I don't think they're seeing the full picture. I think we can all learn from each other and grow just like gardening, we grow. Just like the seeds, we're different every year, and we learn a little bit. So that is my soapbox for today. What else do we have to talk about? So I mentioned my Thursday show. On Friday, we have Jen, Joy, and I. We have our Tomato Talk Live, and our guest this month is Unveiling, otherwise known as Phil Seneca. He is a breeder from here in the United States in the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania area. He is responsible for, I grew a whole bunch of his stuff last year, growing a whole bunch more this year, and I'm going to be talking about some of them today. He's responsible for already a couple of my very favorite tomatoes of all time, including his namesake tomato, Unveiling, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit. So he's going to be on with Jen and I for Tomato Talk Live for 90 minutes. And we're going to be talking about, Jen and I had a meeting last week. We know where, we have like a rough outline of what we're going to talk about. Tomato genetics, growing, all things tomatoes. But really, you guys, the audience, we do these live so you can ask questions, and that really dictates the ebb and flow of the show. So I hope you can watch. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Friday, April 3rd. If it's late for some of you that are in Europe, it will be recorded for later viewing. And let's see, anything else? I don't think so. Oh, yes. This is coming up now that we are in April. Happy April, everybody. April Fools. I hate April Fools. I'm not into the whole practical joke thing. I'll be annoyed if anybody does anything to me. We have our 3rd annual plant swap in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Jen and I will be there. We will be coming to you live. This is our 3rd annual, obviously means this is our 3rd year doing it. We go to Latort Park in Carlisle. It's halfway between Jen, who's in West Virginia, and me, who's in New Jersey. It's the exact halfway point. We have a pavilion every year. It's been growing and growing. I'm trying to work on a food truck, although nobody's getting back to me, which is a bit annoying. But we are set to have a big turnout this year. Bring whatever seedlings you have that you want to give away. If you don't have any to give away, come so you can take some home, because I sure will have a lot to give away, and I know I'm not alone. And if anything else, just come to meet each other. You know, there's something really special about our tomato community. If it's your first time watching, give it a couple minutes and you will see you will be embraced with open arms. By the way, if it is your first time watching me, say so in the comments, and we'll give you all a hello and a great big tomato hug. We always love getting new viewers and people into our lovely and generous tomato community. So please come. It's Friday, May 8th. Can't believe it's a little over a month away. We've had this set for a long time. And then our tomato tasting / tomato festival will be in August 28th at the same place. So mark those on your calendar. All right. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any. Hi, everybody. I promise, I don't know if Achille is here, but I promise I will do some singing. Teresa, yay for singing. I'm talking about a couple Bill Yoders today, at least one where I actually don't know the song. I looked it up and I still didn't know the song, which is weird for me with 80s songs, but some of his stuff's a little obscure. I like obscure too, but this one I didn't know. I will let you know when we get there. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Drew. Scano Angwe, thanks for being here. He's our guest on Friday, as I just mentioned. Alex, it's the final countdown. Why did I decide to... Oh, I was going to say why I decided to make this my final episode. I think it just makes sense to only do 4 rather than drag it out to 6. Next Wednesday, Ken, who does the Pepper Show, his Pepper Show, normally on Tuesdays, he has a family, his mother-in-law's memorial next Tuesday. He asked if he could switch days with me. So he will be on next Wednesday, not Tuesdays. And I think I'm just going to take the week off since I won't be doing the Grow List video anymore. I might do something on Tuesday like a unboxing or something like that, but just assume for now next week I will only be on Thursday. We'll see. I'll let you know. But anyway, you don't come here Wednesday looking for me, but check out Ken Forgotten Heirlooms is his channel. Hi, Rowena. Hey, Jen. Hey, got home early from work so I could catch the show live. Yay! I love when you're here. Hey, Mike. Harley's here. Angwei. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. That means a lot. Scano, my friend, thank you. Very grateful for our friendship. Malachi Jen's here, listening while I up-pot sprouting dahlia tubers. Cue the season of garden chores. Yay! Oh, thank you, Larissa. I did get my hair done yesterday. Thank you. Got rid of those pesky grays that are my natural blonde got put back in. Thank you. I appreciate it. Although this piece is annoying me, but I let it go way too long this time. And my car broke down. Here's the skinny on the car situation. We really don't need this. I'm trying to get through tomatoes, but I'll tell you anyway. So about 6 weeks or so ago, my daughter Riley, on the weekends, she works for like a high-end princessing company. She's in between jobs. She's a singer-actress. She has worked for Disney Cruises for a couple of years. She's home for a couple of months. And on the weekends, she works for a company called Bella Princess up in North New Jersey. And they send very high-end princesses and like this, not Times Square Elmo we're talking about, like really lovely princesses. She uses my car quite often. I don't mind. I didn't need it. And somebody rear-ended her on the highway. And so we had to take the car in to get the bumper replaced. And we have like an extra, like a play car. It's my dad's old. It's like a 2001? Yeah, it might be. 2001 Mazda Miata convertible. Like the green with what do they call that? Racing green. The outside, tan on the inside. It's a fun little car to take like locally and stuff. It's a stick shift. It's a lot of fun. So we figured, that car's in the shop. I can take the Miata. Riley needed to go to the airport. Yesterday, which is about a little over an hour away, Newark Airport. And so I took the Miata, which means I had to go on the highway with it, which I don't love. But we got there fine. We drove, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, drove there, drove back. I was to come home briefly to change and then go to the hairdresser. And I get home, change, get back in the car, won't start. Car dead. So Rob thinks it's the alternator. What that means, I'm not quite sure, but the car was dead. Why did I bring that up? I'm not really sure, but that's my little story for today. But the good news is my car, I drive a Nissan Rogue that was ready. So Rob and I went to go pick that up a little while ago. So I have my own car back. I love my car. Hi, everybody. Alex, I thought I had a photo of your tomato. Didn't you send me a photo? I was going to talk about it today, and then I wasn't sure if you wanted me to. Put it in Messenger. I'll try to look at it, but I think you may have sent it to me. I was going to talk about it at the end if I had time. I was going to make a slide of it, and then I wasn't quite positive that's what it was. But yeah, if you want to do that, I will try to look at it. I don't have Messenger up right now. I'd like to know just the repeats. Well, I have quite a few today, so I started to say, boy, did I get sidetracked. I started to say that I'm all about finding new tomatoes, but I like to regrow tomatoes. For me, that's kind of the whole point, is finding like my to die for tomatoes that will be forever on my grow list. And I've got some of those that I'm going to be talking about today. I've been talking about a few of them through this past 4 weeks. But today in particular, I'll be showing you some that I'm regrowing just because I love them so much, or perhaps I have a breeding project in mind with them. So I'll be making sure to highlight the ones that I'm regrowing. All right, let's start talking tomatoes, and I'll get to some more comments. Here we go. Nope, starting off wrong. All right, this is one I've talked about on my Thursday show before. After I talked about it, this is one that came from Gigi, who's so generous with everybody. Thank you, Gigi, if you're watching. When I talked about it on my show, I noticed it a lot on Seed Seeking Saturday posts. This one's called A. Marola, and there's a whole article on it, which you can see that in the upper left-hand corner, why is Dexo's Amarola cherry tomato the best in Spain? Gigi gave me these. She said it's super sweet. The one she ate, she got seeds from, had a Brix of 12. For those of you that may not know, a Brix measures the sugar content in tomatoes, the glucose and fructose, which gives it, sugary sweet taste. Like a Sun Gold or something would be higher than usually. Beefsteaks don't get too high because they've got a lot more complex flavors going on. But this one's super sweet. And so there's this whole article about that. I'm not going to read you the entire article, but they say it's a jewel that reinvents itself. This tomato, originally from Poland, has proven its worth over the years in the Dexo region, although there's no definitive scientific explanation for its renown. Experience tells us that this tomato has evolved and improved over time. Greenish yellow color when ripe, and its size slightly larger than a cherry tomato makes it resemble a ping pong ball. Says currently obtaining seeds can be quite a challenge as their popularity has exceeded all expectations. Demand for this exceptional tomato has overwhelmed local producers. And so I know I'm not alone in growing this year, so I would venture to guess if you don't have seeds, you'll be able to get them at the end of the season. Make sure you join Tomato Lovers Collective and swap. This is where you will find the most generous and kind and freely giving tomato heads who love to share seeds with everybody. Truly, it's just the most generous place. We just did this post called Seedy Spring Cleaning, which we started last year, and it's basically like you want to share seeds, you cover the postage, you do everything, you don't expect anything in return. Oh my God, the giving. Like I had to extend it a week. I'm thinking of closing it now. It's really slowing down, but it's unbelievable. Not even how many people participated, but for certain people, how many things they gave away. So it just proves how special our community is. So that's Amarola. If any of you are growing any of the varieties I'm talking about today, please put that in the comments. I'd love to know. Like I said, I can't get to all the comments today. Yvette's growing Amarola. Nice, nice. Hey, Raspberry Crunch. Tomato Gang, let's go. I hear you're a friend of Angwe's. Nice to have you here. All right, next one. Already did a giveaway on here. This one's Bordeaux. I am doing in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. I am heading up. One of our grow outs is Old South Seeds, one of my favorite vendors. They are on Etsy, run by Carol Galbierti and Mark Burnett. And this is a variety that they share on their website. They're actually closed for the season now. They'll be reopened again in the fall. But they make this sound fantastic. They say it's one that they almost didn't list for sale because the tomatoes crack on top a bit. And they aren't the prettiest tomato when that happens, but they decided they had to list it because it's a truly wonderful tomato. Compact potato leaf plants are very prolific. Tomatoes have thick flesh, very little juice, few seeds, and you'd think it's only a really great paste tomato, but it's more than that. Bordeaux truly is a wonderful paste type tomato to add a more complex flavor to your tomato sauce. But it's a great tomato for fresh eating as well. Very flavorful, sweet but savory with a hint of a salty flavor. Deliciously sweet when fully ripe. I was talking to Mark about this earlier. He said he's grown it for 2 years and the same thing both times. And he loves it. They both love it. So I'm growing this. I love the color on it. The shape is so intriguing. So I'm growing a few paste tomatoes this year, which I don't normally grow paste tomatoes, but a Casino, which I've talked about the last couple of weeks, and this is another one. I'm giving this one to my nephew also. Anybody else? Christy Quinn's growing it. Excellent. Bordeaux looks beautiful. I agree. That coloring, it's just so deep and rich. You can almost taste the juiciness and the flavor right through the YouTube channel here. All right, next one. Gold. Always believe in your soul. You've got the power to know you're indestructible. Always believe in you are gold, gold. Glad that Spandau Ballet. as interpreted by Lauren Blanchard-Zaleski. This is a new one by Bill Yoder. It's not available for sale yet. He said this is a trial that he had sent me, but he'll probably have it at the end of the season for sale. Look at these beauties. Gold, gold, glad that you're bound to return. There's something I should have learned. You're indestructible, always believing. Hey, Lucas, I'm growing koa, which I know isn't officially yours, but I am growing that. That might be it. That might be it. I just started a whole new section of Viljars. Excited. What do we know about Gold? He said it's a work in progress. Great song from the group Spandau Ballet from the 1983 album True. He talks about the story behind it. He was watching a show on BBC about the London Brinksmat robbery and its aftermath. They stole gold bullion worth 26 million pounds. And so he had the idea for this, to name this one Gold, not only from that, but obviously from the looks of it. Look at that interior. So juicy, so seedy. It looks like such a Lauren cherry. Very much looking forward to this one. Del J7994, up to now, I've only been buying seeds easily purchased. Didn't realize how many unusual and hard to get seeds there are out there. Oh, my friend, I hope you're a member of Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. If you're not, you should. Please join us. Even if you're not on Facebook, we would love to have you. And keep watching this show. I'll be sharing varieties that, most people, regular Earth people, don't know that these varieties exist. Some are heirlooms older than 50 years old that go way, way back, and others are newer. But there's a lot more to tomato growing than just your regular, beefsteak or early girl. And there's nothing wrong with those, but there's some really beautiful and delicious tomatoes out there. So glad you're watching. Nice to have you. All right, where's my slideshow? Where are we? Gold. Okay. Next one. This is a repeat. This is a repeat, everybody. Unveiling, named by the breeder, Unveiling, otherwise known as Phil Seneca of Good Mind Seeds. Some of you may remember that Jen and I tasted this for the very first time live on at our Carlisle Tomato Fest tomato tasting back in September. And it's a late season variety, so it was late for me. Actually, one of my plants didn't bear fruit at all, but the other plant really was kind of in a spot that got more shade than some of the rest of it, so it did take a little bit longer than it should have. But OMG, is this a fantastic tomato. In my experience, I've found that whites are a bit milder than I normally like. I like pow pow flavor. This was pow pow flavor. Low acid or low acidic tanginess. Very, very sweet. As you can see in the photo, the bricks on this one was an 8.7. White, it's actually better, a little bit underripe, which you can see from the photos there. You can almost, if I expand this a bit, you can see on the bottom that there's a little bit of a green tint to it. So that's a little bit underripe. Even the one by the refractometer there, you can see some of the interiors a bit green. Oh gosh, I did a detailed review on my Instagram. We gave it a 9.5 out of 10. We rarely give 9.5s out of 10. I'm going to be talking to you about at least one other today. Bricks was an 8.7, as you can see. It's tied for our #1 spot with Sufferwell and Malapine. Oh, the foliage has the largest potato leaves I've ever seen. I happen to have a seedling here. It's a smaller seedling, but I want to show you just how big the potato leaves are on just a seedling. Now I just added more soil. Actually, let me show you something else. For those of you that may not know how I start my seeds, I do have a video you can check out on my channel, but I fill my pots with soil that could be a pot like this or solo cups halfway down, I start the seeds, and then as the seed, I will separate these into separate pots, but I do start two or mainly most of the time two per pot. Then I separate them, and then I continually add soil up the stem. I believe, from my experience, that giving them a really good root start in the seedling stage is even better than burying deep when it's in the garden. If you can start them off with roots that go up, and then this, I started this a bit too early, but I will continue. I have these tall seedling grow bags that I use. I will continue adding soil up the stem. So by the time we get it out in the garden, like end of May, it'll have a root system probably about this tall. So if you're looking for an interesting, and I swear by it, method, check out my seed starting video. I go probably painfully step by step through, but I promise you, actually, I don't know if Achille is here, but she told me the seedlings I gave her last year with the roots like this, she said they were her best seedlings in the garden. But anyway, I digress. Again, look at the size of the potato leaves just on this seedling. They're beautiful. Drew, I was going to message you today. Hang on, let me put these away. Okay. Drew, weren't you telling me that you got a regular leaf out of the unveiling seeds I gave you? Because I've started a whole bunch of unveiling and I've only gotten potato leaf. Lime and the coconut was a little bit different, but let me know how that's working out for you. Because, I've been starting a lot so I can give a lot away at Carlisle, and I haven't had a single regular leaf, which is interesting. All right. So this is a fantastic tomato. I say flavor, flavor, flavor. Intense, delicious, fruity, lingers on the palate with very little acidity. It was velvety and buttery. Some of you out there, I don't know if you're watching today, but some of you had the opportunity to taste this, even just a little taste at Carlisle. I know Achille got to taste it, and Haley got to taste it. She's the queen of whites. Ken Fry got to taste it. I think Sean and Lucas from Bounty Hunter got to taste it. So it's a good one. I know I've given out lots and lots of seeds for this. I know Angwei himself has given out lots and lots of seeds for this. I would be shocked if you guys didn't love it. I love it. I love it so much. I'm growing it again, probably 2 plants. And I do have a cross. I've got a lot of cross ideas. We'll see how many I actually get to. But this is one spectacular tomato. If you look at tomato faifu in Belgium, they say it's derived from seeds found in a bag of green zebra. And Angwei, I don't know if you and I feel like we've talked about this before, and you were kind of unsure if that was true or not. If you have anything you'd like to add to that, please feel free. Of course, I'm growing this one, says Christy, highly anticipating. Let's see. Hey, Jeffrey. Hi, everybody. Yes, I still have it. It's putting on flowers. Interesting. Well, if you want a potato leaf version, I will have it at Carlisle. I wonder what's going on with the regular leaf. Hi, Kim. Yay, I'm so happy you're here, my friend. Angwei got a regular leaf, too, from the Angwei ES seeds I saved over here. We will see what comes from this bee cross. Interesting. Very interesting. Karunald. I used Ipsoma seed starter, and I've historically hated it, but wanted to use it up. Big mistake. Everything's super slow to come up and just not happening. I love cheap Jiffy Mix. Good. Everybody has methods that work so well for you. I'm just sharing my own method. People I've turned on to it say it's fantastic. But as I said a couple minutes ago, there is no one tried and true method for anything. We are all in different climates. We all have different situations. This is just what works for me. I use Fox Farm Ocean Forest soil exclusively, seed starting and everything, and that works out well for me. A bit pricey, but it works out well for me. You know what? I just don't have time to do all the videos I want to do, but for my peppers last year, I found that my peppers did not like Ocean Forest last year. They liked Happy Frog. And so I had 2 trays of peppers that I've been up potting. I have one tray that looks gorgeous, and then another tray where they're kind of dinky. And then I remembered the tray that looks gorgeous, I used Happy Frog. The one that where they look a little dinky, I mean, they still look good, but they're much smaller. I think I was using Ocean Forest for that. So while I think Ocean Forest is like crack for tomatoes, I am starting to swear by Happy Frog, which is a different type of soil from that same company. Similar amendments, not as chunky, not as moist, which I think may be part of the issue there. So Happy Frog for peppers, Ocean Forest for tomatoes. Hey, Jeffrey, thank you very much for your donation. I appreciate it. All the donations I can get. And nice shirt. Yes, this is, Jeff sent this to me. I think I showed it on the air, but I haven't, this is my first time wearing it. I think it's my first time wearing it. I'm pretty sure. This is showing the merger of the United States and France together, and it's just a general badass shirt. I love it. Thank you, Jeff, for sending that to me. I missed what medium you use. It's by a company called Fox Farm. I don't think I have a bag handy. It's unusual I don't have a bag handy, but I don't think I do. Fox Farm is the brand, and it's called Ocean Forest. It's got bat guano and kelp meal and worm castings and just all the good things. It's got all the good things, and it stays moist, which I think is a good thing for tomato seedlings. Not wet, so I don't water a whole lot. I do bottom water once they get to the stage you just saw, but it does stay a bit moist, which works out well for grow bags and things like that also. But you definitely don't want to overwater with that. Isn't it a nice shirt? Very cool. I love it. All right, next one. Brianna. So this one is featured in Dr. Carolyn Mail's 100 Heirloom Tomatoes for the American Garden. Origin is unknown. It's a pink variety. Tatiana's tomato base says it's one of the heirloom tomatoes described in here. Popular potato leaf heirloom with vigorous vines bearing very large 1 pound, 4 to 5 inch pink beefsteak tomatoes with delicious, big, rich, well-balanced tomato flavors. I got my seeds from Sand Hill Preservation Center. They say anything else? No. Large plant, great rich taste on the sweet side. I think seeds are also available at Victory Seeds for this one. It's not particularly hard to find. What does she say in the book here? She says, those interested in trying new heirloom varieties are often confronted with lists that have minimal descriptions. When that happens, many growers pick a variety simply because the name appeals to them. We know people that are like that. Sometimes the names are quite colorful, like Duck Clucker, Turkey Chomp, and Stump of the World. Brianna was selected because its Celtic origins attracted me. I don't know why she says Celtic oranges, or origins rather, oranges. Because there is, she says it's an unknown origin, but perhaps the name Brianna is Celtic. Indeterminate potato leaf, sweet, rich, balanced. There you go. So it is a year of pink potato leaves for me, particularly just pink. So this one sounded good, so looks like it will probably stay on the grow list. Channels that I am subscribed to: Lucky Garden, this channel, Jen Joy. Are there others associated with this group? Does Kina have a channel? No, Kina does not have a channel. She just comes on with Jen and I from time to time. That's no problem at all. Glad to have you. All right, so there are more variants of the Lauren tomato. I did not breed the Lauren tomato. Tatiana Negla, is that right, Alex? From Latvia bred a Lauren tomato, a Jennifer tomato, and a Kina tomato 2 seasons ago. And it was released in, I think, the F4 stage. So there's all these variants coming out. I already showcased that I'm growing a cherry that Tatiana gave me this year called Lauren's Apricot. I'm growing a variant that that Jen had found called Lauren's Awesomesauce. that I named after she got this variant. She was the first one to grow them all. She grew them in her house last winter. And I loved it. I grew it this past season in 2025. Loved it even more than the regular Lauren tomato, which is a yellow with anthocyanin black on top. That's more like a brown ochre look, and it's delicious. But Bounty Hunter Seeds, Lucas and Pat from Bounty Hunter grew Lauren, and they got a green when ripe variant. So how can I not grow that? I have to. That's the answer. I have to. Don't know anything really about it other than these are their photos. It looks like it's got a little bit of the anthocyanin on top. They said it was a good variety. I don't believe they're selling it, but I've got to grow it and see what we get. There you go. There's going to be a lot of different Lauren tomatoes out there. Okay, this one is Mikhalich of Russia. I was given seeds from Heidi Dolan a while back for this. It's a Russian variety. There's a message board called Garden Web, and somebody said that they received it in a trade last year with a young lady in Ukraine. Also received several others which were not known here in the U.S. before. This one is maybe the best of the bunch, but the others are not to be thrown away either. Out of 12 varieties traded, 8 are definite keepers. Okay, that told us absolutely nothing. Somebody on Tomatoville, the now defunct Tomatoville, says, wow, this baby puts on a heavy load of huge globe-shaped red tomatoes that have averaged over a pound. These pictures and those on Tatiana's tomato base can say more than I can write about. What a wonderful winner this is. Taste is 9 out of 10. It's perfect for sandwiches, and as you can see, it will cover the bread. Heritage Harvest Seed Arc says it's one of the top 3 best beefsteaks for 2023. These were the biggest fruits, with the first one coming in at 1.5 pounds. The rest of the fruits were smaller, but still on the larger size. They say it's a superb tomato, really good. Yields were also incredible, and the plants went all season long, 10 out of 10. Rare 2023 seeds. So that's Mikhalich, I believe is the pronunciation, or my version of the pronunciation. Has anybody grown this one? Ah, Mikhalich is like a second name after one's dad. Literally a son of Mikhail or Michael. Thanks, Alex. Ugh, Nugla. Nugle. Okay, I'll keep trying. I'm not saying nagel anymore, so that's progress. Okay, next one. Pink Climber. I talked about this one on my Thursday show. I don't think it was all that long ago. It's another pink one. Surprise, surprise. Another pink potato leaf. Surprise, surprise. I got my seed from Sandhill Preservation Center. Very vigorous vines, 12 to 16 ounce flat globe tomatoes. Sandhill says we had many people rave about this variety, and they finally figured out why. When I actually took care of it, it yielded a mountain of pink tomatoes, 1 pound and up. Tatiana's tomato base says 75 days, indeterminate, high production of great tasting 10 to 16 ounce pink fruit. Yeah. Has anybody grown Pink Climber before? Looking forward to a lot of these pinks that I'm growing. Rockstar. This one's not available yet, but I was given seeds by the breeder, Joe Raris of the United States. He's been working on this one for a while. He says, right on his page, which is Joe Matos. Do I have a banner for that? Yeah, I do actually. Joe Matos. He says, not ready for release. It's from his breeding program. I'm having trouble with this love-hate relationship. The tomatoes are perfect, crazy productive, crack resistant, just beautiful, but it lacks the wow flavor. I will keep growing this one out, hoping to find that wow flavor. Seed's not available for sale. So I'm going to do my part and see if I can get something with wow flavor. That would be nice, but it's always exciting to grow things that aren't out yet and just be a part of something like I'm growing something out for Alex this year, and I think he's growing one or two of mine as well. Um, and Keena, I'm growing some for Keena. It's fun to help out with these things. Bill Yoder, Angwe, growing a lot of these things. We can, in the tomato community, we can all help one another and have fun doing it, and it will be very delicious. Oh, Keen, I love that. That needs to be an Inspired Garden Life shirt. Pink is the new black. Yes, yes. Alex, yeah, some rare varieties by Joe Raris. Yes, for sure. He's been sending me stuff that I wasn't expecting. He did tell me about the original, for those of you that may not know who aren't in the group, Joe Raris is a breeder from here in the United States, as I said a minute ago. He's responsible for varieties like Supernova, which I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes. Green Honey is another one of his, which I think I talked about last week. Really nice guy. His varieties are often sold at J&L Seeds from Lee Goodwin. They're good friends. So I approached Joe rather a couple months ago, because some people in the group I showcased a variety on his show, St. Patrick's Day, and it's hard to find. And he's not a seed seller. He wasn't, I should say, until this year. And some people in the group were looking for St. Patrick's Day, so I approached him, and he was kind of taken aback, didn't realize there was such a demand for his tomatoes. So he started selling seeds, and he didn't breed Casino or Casino chips, which is a sport mutation from Casino, but he was the person who got them from the original person who brought them from Italy. It was his neighbor, Pat Cece. So, and Casino's pretty difficult to find. There's one vendor in Canada, Casey's Heirloom, that sells Casino, but Joe has like the original seeds he got, and so he sent me all these seeds and said you can give them away. So I've been giving them away to people with a self-addressed stamped envelope in the hopes that we're looking to get this more widely circulated, and it will be after this year. I've been giving away tons and tons of seeds. Thank you all for your self-addressed stamped envelopes. I'm really trying to get them out the day I get them, which right now I don't have. I have one that came in today, but other than that, I'm all caught up. Why did I go on that tangent? Oh, I guess, so I know. So Joe sent me more Casino seeds, and then he sent me envelopes, like old envelopes of all this great stuff, a Romanian pink, a Romanian red. And so I'm like, he's making my grow list even more impossible than it was. Joe, I don't know if you're watching, but thank you for all this. I don't know if he's just cleaning out his stuff and sending it my way, but I'm quite happy to take part in a little tomato history and grow out and share his things. Okay, next one. Speaking of Lee Goodwin, we talked about this one on my show a couple months ago. It was kind of the hot thing that everybody was asking for. It's a limited release variety, according to Lee. It's from the United States. It's called SUCR, probably stands for sucrose, X25. It's supposed to be a sugary sweet one. He says these seeds came from an F3 back cross to a wild plant with the sucrose accumulation genetic trait. The sprawling 2.5 meter tall, indeterminate plant produces very firm, almost crunchy, 2.5 centimeter bicolored orange-yellow fruits late in the season. Brix levels are somewhere around 15 when fully ripe. 15, 1-5 when fully ripe. Some concentric cracking occurs in wet weather. The flavor is wild but surprisingly good. Further segregation is to be expected, but the genetics here are solid. I know he would get some in stock, and I'd put it in the group, and they'd sell out. So I know many of you are growing this too. So I'll be really curious to see what we all get, if it's all the same thing. I don't think it will be, but I sure am. I can almost taste it. Crunchy and very, very sweet. I can almost taste it. Christy's growing this one. Good. Gina just started seeds for Casino. Thank you. You're very welcome. Hey, Pat. I saw that you watched a couple weeks ago, but I didn't see the comment when we were live. I didn't see it until after the fact. Pat is like, I wouldn't say he's my neighbor, but he lives just a couple towns over. He was other than Malachite Gem was my first like online tomato friend, but Pat actually gave me Rory the Wonder Cat. Pat and his girlfriend at the time do trap neuter release, and they took in a mom from a community and who was pregnant, and she had the kittens, and they gave away the kittens, and one of those kittens was my precious angel, Rory the Wonder Cat, who is still with us. And we're giving her prednisone twice a day now, which is helping her to be a little more perky. And Jake, my son, will be able to see her for the Easter holiday this weekend. But I am forever indebted to my Pat, who's a sweetheart and happens to be a big tomato and pepper grower. We found this out years ago. We started trading seeds. So it's very cool to see you on my show, Pat. Thanks for being here. And you know I'm going to cry, but you always hold a special place in my heart because of our little girl. Thank you. Catherine says, SUCR X25 sounds amazing. It sure does, and I guarantee you there'll be lots of seeds available, not just from me, but from a lot of people growing it at the end of the season. Okay. So this isn't a most wanted. I am growing this, but this is an old slide I had done. It was a most wanted, and then it was given to me. Oh gosh, when? Over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. Verte Polonaise, otherwise known as Polish green. There isn't a lot of information out there on it. I went digging. There is a write-up on Tomato Pfeiffer from Belgium about it, and they say little known variety and very little referenced. Green fruit covering with amber at maturity from 200 to 300 grams, round with more or less rounded and ribbed shoulders. Depression at the peduncular attachment shallow and medium wide where scars appear in the talwag. Firm and juicy green flesh. Excellent flavor. And then I did a little more digging, and Tatiana's tomato base showed this as a 2013 release from Secret Seed Cartel. So I reached out to Jeff Rainmaker of Secret Seed Cartel, wondering if he recently took it over, but wondering if the old records transferred. He didn't have anything. So then I reached out to Terry, who used to be the owner, and she really didn't have much either. In fact, she doesn't have seeds, so I'm sending her seeds back for it at the end of the season. But she said she received it from a trade and didn't really have much more than that. So I will be gladly growing this glorious looking green when ripe and sharing. If any of you have grown it, let us know. Oh, you're so right. It's a pickled color tomato. You're absolutely right, Raspberry Crunch. Ooh. That sounds like a good tomato name, Pickle. Pickle something, dill pickle. I don't know. But it does look like a pickle. That coloring is just screaming that I've got to grow and eat that for sure. Has anybody grown it? I know the person who gave me the seeds grew it. But you really can't find much out there on it, so I'm excited to grow it. Those are the kind that I really like to grow and share seeds to get them into circulation. Okay, here's one of Angwe's that's not, I believe he shared them with several of you out there. Wounded Arrow. Looking forward to growing this one. He says they're good in heat and continue setting fruit. He says it's a quarter Angwe ES genetically, which is always a good thing for me. And he says it's a sibling to another variety I'm growing of his called Barney Bush Poet. Angwe, if you have anything to share other than that, that's all the information I've got. But look at these. I know a few of you at least got seeds for this also. Looking forward to seeing what comes of it and sharing seeds if he feels that they're ready to share. Poland is one of the vanguards of European tomato breeding. Don't I know it? I want to see the inside of that pickled tomato. Yeah, I didn't have an inside photo. I had an underside photo, which didn't really show you much, but not an inside. I want to see it too. Can't wait to grow it. All right, next one. This is a big time repeat. In fact, this will be my third year growing it. It was released 3 seasons ago, so I believe for the 2024 growing season by Secret Seed Cartel, when before Jeff owned it, and it's got an interesting story. I'll read you their story, and then I'll tell you my thoughts on it. These are my photos, by the way. Aren't they great? These are photos from last season. They said, what did they say? What did they say? Years ago, we bought a pack of a well-known purple dwarf tomato from a well-known seed vendor. What we got from this pack of seeds was a chocolate beefsteak dwarf, Nano's Meatball, and a large red beefsteak indeterminate, which they named Meatball. We have been growing from saved seed for 4 years, and they have continued to produce. This was into 2024, by the way, just keep that in mind. And they've continued to produce the same as the parent. Nano's Meatball has been the most productive dwarf we have ever grown. The size of the tomatoes for a dwarf plant is amazing. I can definitely go by that. I wouldn't say for me they're the most productive. I think a lot of us, some people I've heard it from the group have had major production. I've been growing a number of plants because I love these so much. I heart this tomato. It is one of the best tomatoes I've ever had in my life. Rob and I both love them. You can tell just from the coloring. It's fantastic. What's the bricks on this? I don't think it's super high. See, bricks is a 5.7. This is another unicorn for us, a 9.5 out of 10. So we will grow a couple plants. They stay relatively short. Even for a dwarf, they're pretty compact, maybe topping out at 30, 32 inches for us. We did do one in a raised bed 2 seasons ago, and I didn't find that to be any more productive than when they're in grow bags. So we tend to do this in grow bags. For those of you who have grown it, please let us know. It can be, I will tell you this, for those of you growing it for the first time, it can be a little bit of a drama queen in the beginning. It can seem to take a while to take off. But bear tight, my friends. Have patience because it is worth the wait. Heidi says, I don't think they're remotely productive. Tastes really good, but man, is it slow. It is. It is. Tiffany, growing nanos because of you. Good. Good. Larissa, I had only 2 seeds and cannot germinate them yet. I hope it will happen. Nano's Meatball looks amazing. Adding it to your list. I just so happen to have your page on here. I will send you new seeds for nanos because you must grow it. I'll try to get this out within the next day or 2. It won't happen today, maybe tomorrow. For those, we have 92 live viewers, which I think may be the most of this Grow List show. So welcome, everybody. This is episode 4 and the final episode, the final countdown. So happy to have you here if it's your first time watching. If it is your first time watching, I've gotten a lot of new subscribers lately. Please let us know in the comments. Let us know where you're watching from and say hi, and let us know what you're growing this year if you're growing any tomatoes. Satya grew nanos in a 7-gallon grow bag, very productive, yummy, approximately 3 feet. I have heard others like you saying they're productive. I just haven't had that experience. I think last year I grew like 4 or 5 plants because we just love them, love them, love them. And I do succession sow this one too. So we have fresh plants like going throughout the season, especially in the fall. There's nothing like a nanos in the fall when everything's kind of petering out. I'm growing nanos because of your suggestion. Good. Mariah's growing nanos. Pat, I'm sending you more seeds. My nanos didn't germinate last year either. I'm sending you seeds. I don't know if it's too late. You probably started already, but you need to grow this. Need to. And actually, you need to come to Carlisle, Pennsylvania for our tomato tasting. Would love to see you again. I'm writing this down. That's too bad it didn't germinate. I'll get you some new seeds. I've got fresh ones from last year. Oh, thanks, Jen. Hit that like button, everyone. Appreciate it. Your nanos was nearly 5 feet? Wow. Was that outside, like in the sun? That's crazy. Hey, Christina. Nano is super yum. Agreed. All right. So that is a regrow. Paying attention for all of you wondering when I'm regrowing. This will be the 3rd year in a row for this one. What's next? This one's on the bubble. I have to admit, Dwarf Striped Green Cloud by Dean Slater from the United States. I was given seeds by a fellow tomato head, and I'm very grateful for that. Not much information about there. Dean himself in 2018 from his group, which is PKS Seeds, said it was an F4 then. I don't know, it wasn't written on my seed packet what generation the ones I have are. He said, I'm really liking this one. It's F4, is throwing some nice things, mini hearts and lots of cool things. Look for yellows, bicolors, and some reds. And again, this is back in 2018, so I don't know what to expect, but I thought it would be fun to grow it and see what I get. Oh, Larissa, thank you. Pear character pudding. Oh, I can't see from my, I guess that's what happened is in the super chat. Not you saying that. I can't see it on my end. It says pear character putting his hand in front of his mouth while blushing. Thank you for the donation. Always appreciated very much. Pat, I will try again next year. In general, I have difficulty with exotics. For example, 2 attempts at Brad's Atomic Grape. Brad's Atomic is a drama queen too. It always looks dead. Always looks dead. It's very wispy, and people, I'm sure not you, Pat, because you've been growing a long time, but people tend to overwater that one. It gets edema because it looks dead. The first time I grew it, it was the same thing. There's certain varieties that are drama queens. Brad's Atomic Grape is definitely one of them. Yes, outside in a fabric grow bag. I grew 2 of them. I guess it's not fully stable yet. I mean, they said it was an F4 when they released it. I think that's, or they said it was they grew it 4 years in a row and was putting out the same. I haven't had much variation in mine, to be honest with you. Haven't really noticed anything. The taste is the same. The growth habit's the same. Haven't had productive, and I haven't had anything taller than maybe 32 inches tall. Second time watching, still on vacation in Vietnam. Thanks for watching again, Green Apples. Happy to have you. Hope you're having a great vacation. Mary says, my nano also is near 5 feet and productive seeds from Secret Seed Cartel. Okay. Well, it just proves it's not stable. It seems like everybody's getting the same color and look fruits, I would assume. And I'm not sure if I've heard of anybody say they didn't like it. Have you guys? If you didn't like it, let us know. What is 5 feet in centimeters? 5 feet in centimeters is... Oh, I don't know. I only go up, my little cheat sheet here only goes up to 4 feet. 4 feet is 115 centimeters. Sorry, Keen, I thought I could help out there. Oh, Alex from Lucky Garden, gotcha. All right. What's next? Has anybody grown dwarf striped green cloud? Other than the person who gave me the seeds? Here's a Bill Yoder variety, a new one, A Night Like This. I don't know the song. It's from The Cure. I liked The Cure, but I don't know them like I know Duran Duran. So alas, I shall not be singing to you on a night like this. Mid-season indeterminate potato leaf with thick stems produce 8 to 12 ounce dark brown chocolate fruits. Very productive variety with a rich flavor typical of dark tomatoes. It looks amazing. I think I just talked about this on my Thursday show just a couple weeks ago, if not last week, because I remember like drooling and looking at the kind of green seeds and goo on the inside. Anybody else growing this one this year? All right, moving on. Coastal Pride Orange. This one came from the recommendation of Angway. It was developed by Dan and Val McMurray. One of them is, the nickname is Grungy, right, Angway? That's where Grungy in the Sky bicolor comes from. I am growing it with the intent, first of all, I hear it's a good variety. Second of all, I have an idea of breeding a dwarf orange and a purple. So this was one that I was considering and may still use for a cross. But let me tell you about this one. It's part of the coastal lineage developed and released by Dan and Val in 2007. Orange fruit, 80 to 120 grams, spherical and smooth, the size of a tennis ball. Perfect flesh, creamy when fully ripe. And I think people use this quite a bit in breeding, if I'm not mistaken. Perfect balance between sweetness and acidity. Small plant with rugose foliage, indeterminate, ideal for growing in pots. All right, Dan himself, otherwise known as Grunt. Coastal Pride Orange is part of, this is from 2011, he said this, is part of what started out as a grow out and chase down of an unknown indeterminate that I saved seeds from for some reason. I grew it out several years, calling it Tomato C. Original, ain't I, he says. It seemed stable, red and indeterminate, and I was ready to release it as Coastal Pride when it split again, an orange dwarf and the stable red that is now called Coastal Pride Red. There are no similarities between the two. One is red, indeterminate regular leaf, slightly acidic. The other is orange dwarf, rugose, and sweet. What else do you say? Stocky as the stems are on Coastal Pride Orange. Give it some support when it starts out to fill out the fruit. I've got beautiful looking seedlings, all stocky and looking healthy, ready to go into grow bags. Anybody grown this? Stacy's growing it. Kelly's got seeds. Might need to add it to my grow list. Larissa grows it, and some of my traders will grow it also. Nice. Grunt was Dan, Grungy was Val. Okay. Good tomato breeders. Christy says, I'm still up in arms on what yoders to plant. I know. I want to grow them all. I know. Believe me, I know. Alex says, I love this one. Deep orange color, dense fruit, good size. They are quite disease resistant. The flavor is good. I think that's often why it's used for breeding. And Christy's growing Coastal Pride. Nice. Nice. I've got this on the bubble too, but I think I'm going with it. Okay, so if you've watched me for a while, you know that my husband and I, Mr. Tomato Head, aka Rob, stabilized a variety called Bananas Noir, not to be mistaken with Ananas Noir, which is what we got a bee cross from years ago in our garden, of Ananas Noir and an unknown cherry. And we got these saladette sized, I know Jeff has them listed as cherries, but they're secret seed cartel, but they're saladette sized. And they're super sweet. They look like a mini Ananas Noir, but with way more flavor as far as I'm concerned. Well, 3 years ago, I started getting this variant, which is a mini version, even smaller than Bananas Noir. And if you look at the coloring, for those of you who've grown bananas before, you know that it can definitely have like green and pinks in it and stuff. This has so much more coloring in it and even sweeter than regular Bananas Noir. So I thought I would try, this will be my third year trying to grow this out. Aren't they gorgeous? And I don't think I'm growing regular Bananas Noir this year. I'm just going to try a couple plants of the Bananas Noir minis and see where I go from that. But they're really beautiful and delicious. So stay tuned for more information on that to come. Oh, here's the regular Bananas Noir. I forgot I put this slide up. So kind of hard to tell size-wise, but you can kind of see they're much larger and a little bit different color than the mini. Mini. This is an interesting dwarf, I guess it is a dwarf. It's a compact variety. I showcased it on my show months ago. It's called Payette. You can see from the University of Idaho College of Agriculture, the document on the right, there's a whole, what do they call it? Not an analog, abstract on this particular variety, a new curly top resistant dwarf tomato variety. I think it just looks and sounds interesting. Tomato Faifu in Belgium says it's a commercial variety introduced in 1962 in the United States. The result of successive crosses of Lycopersicum peruvianum, L. hirsutum, Bison, Stokesdale, Sioux, and Bounty, developed by the University of Idaho with the aim of obtaining a tomato adapted to the specific climate of the southwest of the United States. Kind of sounds like Coatli Salubong. Firm, dense flesh with a pungent flavor. Kind of sounds like Coatli Salubong also. Compact, small plant, not exceeding 1.2 meters. Good early production. Resistant to curly top virus. That's it. Has anybody grown Payette? Where did I get my seeds? It's from hang on, I can tell you in a minute. From I guess I didn't write it down here. There's a vendor who I hadn't, let me look it up, who I hadn't used before. feel like it starts with an S. Snake River Seed Cooperative. That's who I got it from. Because they're not all that easy to find. So that one sounds interesting. Ah, Kelly's growing it. Just started payette last night. Very nice. This one I was considering growing. I'll be growing it now. Very nice. I'm growing Ananas Noir for the first time this year, but would love to eventually try the Bananas Noir. Well, reach out to me. I can definitely send you some seeds for Bananas Noir. Oh, Pat, it's my 3rd year with Bananas Noir. I love them, and they are on my must-grow list. I call them Bananas Noir Lauren. Aw, thanks, Pat. I'm really glad you're enjoying them. A lot of people aren't really into the green tomatoes, but boy, until you've tasted one, and Bananas Noir is pretty darn sweet. We are very, very grateful for our friendly neighborhood pollinator who gifted us with that beautiful variety. All right, next one. Another Bill Yoder, Regatta de Blanc. Another song by the Police. I think I know it, but I forget how it goes at the moment, so I won't be breaking out into song. Seeds for this one aren't available yet, according to his website. Mid-season, indeterminate, regular leaf plants produce pale yellow fruits with anthocyanin stripes, which you can see in the photo there. They have a very good flavor, which is very sweet and rich. This was my favorite, this is his words, this was his favorite flavored tomato of the year. He says, seeds not yet available, but you will want this one for sure when it is released. So I shall be growing it this year. Those of you who are growing some of Bill Yoder's varieties, you know that he has gently asked that seeds not be shared for a year until until January 2027. So, and that is so he can sell them exclusively, which is beyond reasonable as far as I'm concerned. So I will not be sharing seeds for any of his new ones. The older ones, like the Duran Duran and all of that stuff, seeds you can share just like we've been doing. But any of the new ones released this year, and actually this one's not even released yet. He's asking for like an exclusivity clause, and I think that's definitely. I think more breeders should and could and should do it. It's the least we can do is to give them the business and not undercut them by just sharing seeds. So there you go. Pink Floyd. This one was bred by Alan Bishop. I talked about it on my show, I think, a couple weeks ago again from the United States. Joe Raris sent me the seeds. He says, for a sandwich, burger, or a salad, it's a masterpiece. This pink 8 to 10 ounce tomato is solid meat, great for slicing. The cross is Big Boy and Brandywine, which looks like a perfect hybrid, but with a lot more flavor and has a great shelf life. He said, I don't remember the history except for this tomato guy. He can't remember the name. It's Alan Bishop. Living in Michigan, a regular guy like me breeding tomatoes for the love of it, had Pink Floyd on his website, and I purchased some seeds. And it turns out Alan Bishop is the breeder. He started Homegrown Goodness, and he's got a huge, he doesn't really do tomatoes much anymore, but he's got a huge following on Instagram and Facebook, I believe. He breeds like squash and all kinds of other things. But he's also responsible for Jack White, Jack Off-White. There's some other varieties of his out there. So that's Pink Floyd. Is definitely not compact nor a dwarf. It gets very tall. The stems are very skinny. So I recommend definitely like 2-3 stems, and it gets pretty tall. It's a monster, and it's very disease resistant, as it turns out. Wish I could say I had something to do with it. I did not, but no, it's not a dwarf, and the mini is not either. Okay, here's another one, gang, for those of you paying attention to my regrows. This was a find from last year. Looks a whole lot like what was my number one, tied for number one with Suffer Well, tomato for years, Malachite box. But I got seeds for this from my friend in Poland. It was only listed for one season, I think, on a Russian site called tomatinka.ru, and it's called Malapine. I spoke with my friend who gave me the seeds. She thinks it's a cross of malachite box and pineapple, hence the name, but that's not confirmed, so I can't spread that with any kind of certainty. It does kind of make sense, though. This, this tomato. I never thought I would say I'm not growing malachite box in my garden, but I am not. I am growing 2 plants of malapine. This was not only tastier, and it's hard to beat malachite box for taste. So if you're growing malachite box, I am not at all telling you to toss it and not grow it. It's delicious. Your mind will explode. It's so good. This just happened to be better. Verde de las Landas is also very great, but this one beat both of them. Production was way better than malachite box. The brick score beat it by like 1 point, which is, kind of, that could just be the day too. But I just found the flavor to be even more complex, juicy, tangy, grassy. Those the tart flavor I love in a green tomato, and this came out a winner. So this is now tied for my #1 spot. Would suffer well, and arguably I would put unveiling in there, maybe a 3-way tie. That may be #2, but this one is way up there. So if I gave you seeds and you're growing it, I think you'll be in for a treat. Please let me know what you think. I think you're going to really like it. I know some of you said I gave you seeds and you didn't have germination for it. So I put seeds in soil when I got back from Florida. I haven't had issue at all. I've had 100% germination. So if you've had germination problems, I'd be happy to send you more seeds. I think I said this a few weeks ago and some of you took me up on it. But other of you haven't had issues. So again, if you're growing malachite box, don't say like, oh no, Lauren says it's not good. It's delicious. You can't go wrong. I just found for my garden, this lasted longer. It was earlier in the season, lasted all season long, and it was so much more productive, and it just tasted better. I did a 3-way taste off with malachite box, malapine, and Verde de las Landas, and this one for both Rob and I, which kind of broke my heart. I feel like I'm cheating on malachite box. That site I told you about that had it listed says it's a mid-season, tall, indeterminate. I don't know why they have it off their site. You can't find it anywhere anymore. Other than my friend from Poland, she's a tomato. She doesn't sell. She doesn't sell seeds as far as I know. She's just a tomato enthusiast and passionate seed sharer like I am. But she has it on her Facebook page. But other than that, my Instagram post, I think, is all you're going to find for whatever reason. We don't even know origin. She thinks it came, her friend that gave, the friend who gave it to her, she says was the breeder. She thinks he's from Italy, but she couldn't quite remember. I won't read you. If you go to my Instagram, which is Mr. and Mrs. Tomato Head, you can read the entire review where I am passionately salivating and singing the praises of this extraordinary green when ripe. But we gave it a 9.5 out of 10. Bricks was 7.6. I end the review with our taste buds were pierced with a puckering, tangy, outrageously sweet and intense flavor. Texture was smooth and buttery, an absolutely incredible tomato. I'm so sorry, malachite. Malapine is my new true love. It is pure tomato nirvana. So if that doesn't tell you how much I love this tomato, I don't know what will. Angwei says, malapine is something I will definitely grow this year, and so will my mother. I hope I get to use malapine in new crosses. Me too. That would be super exciting. Lori's growing malapine too. Good. Oh, good, Pat. I'm so glad you're growing it. My malapines that you gifted me have sprouted and are doing well. Probably one of my most anticipated tomatoes of the season. You'll have to let me know what you think. I think you'll like it. I know you like loud flavor like I do. I hope to try malapine and Verde de las Landas. Malachite box is delicious. It is. It is. Never thought I'd find anything to actually top it. Okay, Platense from Argentina. This is a rare heirloom variety originating from the La Plata region of Argentina, known for its large, flattened, ribbed red fruits with intense flavor, That's the key word. If something has intense flavor, exceptional flavor, and all of that, it goes on my grow list. Will it stay on my grow list? I don't know. The thing is, I get things like Joe Raris's, package the other day with all these rare varieties that have been sitting, in his home that he's gifting me with. Like, then Angwei's sending me more stuff. It's like, stuff I have to grow. I must grow these. I must. So, so they end up on these things like this end up on my grow list. So far, this one's still on the grow list, Platense. Seeds were imported in the first half of the 20th century by European migrants. Intense red fruits of 200 to 350 grams. Flashy, very juicy flesh, multi-logged, containing a lot of gel and seeds, which I love. For those of you growing Queen Nanny, did I showcase? I think I showcased Queen Nanny already. I must have. I'm growing that again. Be prepared for an influx of seeds and goo. Oh my God, is that delicious? So you're going to get so many seeds. I've given out so many seeds because I saved a lot of seeds. It's like, for those of you who like seeds and goo, many of you don't. Many of you like meaty with few seeds and goo. I'm the opposite. Bring on the seeds and goo. I could drink it in a glass. I really could. If seeds and goo end up on my cutting board when I cut a tomato, I scoop it up with a spoon and I eat it. Or I save them, of course. I love it. I love it. I love, squishing the seeds in between my teeth. Ugh. I can't wait, guys. I cannot wait for this season. I know you're all with me here. This variety happens to be part of the Slow Food Foundation for Biodiversity. I talked about this on my show, I think, last Thursday. It's an organization that preserves regional varieties that may be in danger of extinction. So anything that's on that list, I automatically have my radar up for that also. There's a whole long thing in the Slow Food Foundation for Biodiversity on this. But anyway, Platense sounds great. If any of you have grown it, let me know. Oh, Jen says, I had to run to my basement and check. My Malapine have sprouted. Yay! So I have this one pot, because it's still a bit too early for me to start most of my seeds. Rob and I started our first batch last weekend. We probably won't do this weekend since it's Easter and Jake's coming home and we're celebrating. Tomorrow's Rory's 9th birthday, Pat. I can't believe she's making it till her 9th birthday. I'm so grateful. And we're celebrating Riley's 30th birthday and Rory's 9th birthday this weekend. So we probably won't plant anything this weekend, but in 2 weeks we'll do our next batch. But I did start those Malapines just out of curiosity because people said they were having trouble. And again, I did not, but I've got this pot, like the one I just showed you, it's 3 by 3 inch pot with like 10 Malapines in it, and it's only half done. I have not added soil up the stem because I'm going to start new ones. They are so tall, and they are looking so, so healthy. I started them March 8th, so way, way, way too early for me to continue on with them. But I haven't had the heart to call them yet. But they are tall, very healthy seedlings, despite being a bit abused. Okay, next one. Another repeat. I did not grow it last year, but I grew it for the first time in 2024. Raspberry Beret. Where's Akeelia? She's not here, and I'm singing all these songs for her. She jokingly said she was only going to grow tomatoes that I would sing about. The kind you find in a secondhand store. Raspberry Beret. I think I love her. Is Teresa here? Teresa loves Prince, I found out yesterday. Hang on. Drooling. Okay. If you're looking for one of the sweetest cherry tomatoes and a nice compact variety, Raspberry Beret is great. I am using this for a breeding project. I did an experiment. The photo you see on the right, again, it was from I think it was 2024 growing season. This was the first. No, I think the second season. I think they came out in 2023. I didn't grow it for the first time until 2024. His Prince season was his Prince line was his first, and then came Depeche Mode the following year. And Bill had been on my show with Jen, and he showed us a picture of all of his Prince lines. They're all dwarfs as far as I know. And he grew them all in 1-gallon pots in his greenhouse. And so I was anxious to get started. And so I decided to do an experiment and see if I could grow them in 1-gallon grow bags. So that photo you see on the right, it's a bit monstrous. It did grow in a 1-gallon grow bag. After I took the picture and I proved that it could be done, I uppotted it to a 3-gallon grow bag and it thrived much better. But this is a great, great, great cherry tomato. Bill Yoder has done it again with this. We rated it an 8.5 out of 10. The Brix was a 10. Our 2024 review, or my 2024 review on Instagram, says, OMG, this variety from Bill Yoder's Prince collection is insanely delicious. Not only are they gorgeous fruits, the taste is outrageous. Very full, intense flavor with lots of sweetness that lingers long after the first bite. Grew in a 1-gallon grow bag, topped out at 18 inches. So it could be considered a mini dwarf depending on what you grow it in. It really is a dwarf, but if you grow it in a 1-gallon grow bag, it will be more like a mini dwarf. 18 inches could be considered a mini dwarf. I will be growing again indoors during the winter when I yearn for great tomatoes. I did not do that. Yeah, Raspberry Beret is a winner. The taste is swoon-worthy. Flavor lingers on the palate long after the last bite. I heart this tomato and variety so much. It is beautiful, productive, healthy, and delicious. And you can grow it indoors if you have the capacity to grow something 18 inches tall. It was a bit of a stretch, but it worked. Wow, Brix of 10. I know. Delicious, delicious. Bill is a wizard. I don't know how he does it. Alex agrees with me about Bill. Beret is the best. It's really, really good. Stacy's growing it also. Good. Hey, Jamie. I'm growing Malapine too. Jamie, you poor Jamie. I owe her this shirt. Jeff sent my shirt to her and her shirt to me, and she sent me mine. And hers is sitting in a... It's sitting here, Jamie. I'm so sorry. It's sitting right here waiting to go to you. I got your seeds out the other day. But alas, your shirt. I'm sorry. It's been so busy. I promise I will get it out. Glad you're growing Malapine. Okay. Another one from Angwe. This one's been around a while, but I have not grown it. He did send seeds when I got the other seeds from him last year, but for some reason I didn't grow it. I guess because I knew that this one is sort of readily available, and I thought it was more important to grow the other ones that weren't readily available. But alas, it's still readily available, and I am growing it this year. Queen Aliquipa. I'm sure some of you have grown it. If you have, I would love to hear your thoughts. His site, Good Mind Seeds, says, this is Queen Aliquipa, named after the last matriarch of my people to live within the hills of my birthplace. She was Mingo Seneca, meaning that her people had been assimilated into mine and at one time were a separate nation. Queen Aliquipa is a mid-season, pear-shaped, green when ripe tomato. Considering the slim chances of finding this phenotype from the original cross, I'm lucky to find it at all, let alone a plant that was so vigorous and productive in the face of foliar and vascular fungal diseases. Most fruits are a clear green, although once in a while they are produced with a red blush at the blossom end. The texture is perfect and the flavors range from well-balanced to sweet and fruity, a real winner in the taste department. Indeterminate vines reach about 7 feet by the end of the season with large potato leaves. Sounds great, Angwe. Can't wait to grow it. Anybody else growing it? My Raspberry Beret might have been a cuckoo. It was sour. Oh, must have been a cuckoo. Definitely not sour. Did you let it get, and I'm not trying to sound condescending at all, but did you let it get ripe? Was it the same color as what I showed? Because it wasn't even remotely sour for me. Very, very sweet. Very, very sweet. That's a bummer. Laura's growing Raspberry Beret again this year. It's great. Yvette, Queen Aliquipa. I grow it about every other year since about 2018. Nice, nice. Alex is clapping his hands for this one. Sasha grew Raspberry Beret inside last year. Very good. Raspberry Beret, yep. Jamie says, oh man, I seriously don't have room, but now I want to start seeds for Raspberry Beret. It's a good one, my friend. It's a good one. I don't know why I didn't grow it last year, but I'm definitely growing it again this year. Okay, this one. Samya Lucia. Samya Lucia from Russia. It wasn't on my grow list, and then I was stupid and I looked at my spreadsheet the other day, and I'm like, oh, what's this one? My inventory spreadsheet, and it translates to the best, and it's rare, and I'm like, where did this one come from? I mean, I logged it in my spreadsheet. I knew I had it, but I have more varieties than I care to admit. I'll keep it to myself, but I have a good a good number of varieties rather. Seeds came from Cultive Taru, or Cultivate Your Street. They say it's a rare variety cited as one of the 100 best in Russia. Fruits weigh 200 to 450 grams and have a raspberry pink skin. The flesh is meaty, juicy, and aromatic with an excellent heirloom tomato flavor. The plant is highly productive, also known as the best. And then a Russian site, samina.ru, says, mid-season, large-fruited Siberian variety, determinate up to 1 meter tall, grown in open ground and greenhouses. Complex clusters are set every 3 leaves. Fruits are red, flat, round, very dense. Taste of the fruits is worthy of the highest praise. Excellent in fresh salads and home cooking. Anybody grow Samya Lucia? Anybody grown this one before? Hi, Chantel. Samya Lucia means the best ever. What did I say it said? Oh, according to Cultive Taru, they say it's the best, so that we get a little bit more with the best ever. Good to know. Good night, Kina. Thanks for tuning in. Next one. Silvery. So I tried to grow this last year. And in fact, I gave a plant to Jen, and I think neither one of us got anything from it. Now, I must admit, I put it in a grow bag in my death row. For those of you that may not know, I have a row in my garden that I stick cherries in grow bags there that maybe I don't need a whole lot of fruit and production from, but I really just want to taste the cherry and get some seeds, because things just don't do well back there, and I don't know why, even in a grow bag. So I did have this in death row. But this is one that is sold by J&L Garden Seeds. It's super rare. I've only seen it listed at one other place, which is this Japanese site with the watermark here, Heirloom Tomato Farm. So I'm attempting to grow it again. J&L Garden says it's an absolutely stunning green tomato. Silvery is unknown in most of the world. It deserves recognition for its flavor and texture alone. The plants are vigorous and reliable producers, and the fruit is quite uniform and of excellent quality. I would encourage you to give Silvery a try in the garden this summer. And then Heirloom Tomato Farm says the origin is unclear, but it is thought to have originated in Russia. It says Joe Raris of J&L Garden declares that this is one of the most beautiful green tomatoes. Joe isn't of J&L Gardens, but they are friends, and Joe Raris does have a tab, so I don't know if it's Joe or Lee. It says Joe, so I'll just assume it's Joe. One of the most beautiful green tomatoes. We do too. It has a somewhat flat pleated shape, weighs about 100 to 380 grams, and can also be said to be the largest green tomato. Has anybody had success growing this one before? I'm growing Raspberry Beret this year after growing Little Red Corvette last year. Wasn't a fan of Little Red Corvette, I have to admit. Out of that series of the cherries, I wasn't a fan of 1999 Little Red Corvette. What's the other one? Too much antho flavor, but I loved Raspberry Beret. All righty, moving right along. St. Patrick's Day, speaking of Joe Raris. Yeah, I thought so, Jen. Nope, I didn't get anything either. Growing again this year, too. Good. This is what started the Joe Raris craze. I think it was me showcasing this tomato. I had been given seeds from a trade a couple years ago, came across it in that spreadsheet I was just referencing, and I'm like, why have I not grown this? And then I had mentioned to Jen, because Jen runs our Shamrock Seed Swap in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap, and I assumed she had seeds for this, and she didn't. So I gave her some of my seeds from the trade. I reached out to Joe, seeing if he had more seeds. People wanted it, and then we just began this relationship. And I mean, relationship, like friend relationship, obviously. And, obviously, so we've gotten these casino seeds from him, and he started selling seeds because of our group. We have a breeder resource sheet because of him and for him rather in our group. He doesn't have a lot, but he's got some great things. I've showcased green honey already. In a couple minutes, I'll be talking about another one of his. St. Patrick's Day. Don't know much about it. He says, as part of his breeding program, Gary Osina is one of the parents, and it's a personal favorite of his. That's all he says. He did say he liked green honey better, but I'm looking forward to growing both. Anybody else growing it? Thanks to Julia P. I'm growing St. Patrick's Day. Nice, nice. Aldisk Silvery looks delicious. I love the ochre colored tomatoes. Yeah, I think it's more amber. Some of the Greenwood ripes have like an amber when ripe. If you look at J&L, I wonder if they have silvery on their site, because on their site, the photo shows a bit more of a tricolor than that other site. Let me check. The problem with J&L Garden Seeds is that when they sell out of something on their site, the listing goes away. But I don't know that they're sold out of silvery. Let me check. Yeah, oh, they are. Okay. So what they had, and I don't know why I didn't put it in that graphic, but their photo of it shows a bit more of a tricolor, like a little bit of a pink on the interior. Not of this one, of the silvery. This one. I don't know why I didn't show that photo. So many great looking GWRs in this episode. You know me. Always looking for good GWRs. So that's St. Patrick's Day. Next one, this is another third-year regrow. Suffer Well with Malapines, the best tomato I've ever had in my life. Hard stop. Full stop. Suffer Well. This is a 2024 release from his Depeche Mode line, Bill Yoder. Seeds are readily available. I don't know if he's selling right now or not. I feel like he put something up in the group saying he's having some health problems, back trouble, and he just had surgery on his foot. So I think he's paused his sales for now, but many people at this point, I talked it up a lot in 2024, and so a lot of people grew it last year and saved seeds, so you can certainly look for it on Seed Seeking Saturday. This is an extraordinary tomato, my friends, let me tell you. Simply, I write in my 2024 Instagram review, simply one of the best tomatoes I've ever had in my life. The cross, where's the cross? It's Cherokee Purple potato leaf and Berkeley Pink tie-dye. This is a potato leaf variety. It's a late season, which is very frustrating when you're dying to eat them, but it has a similar look to the Berkeley Pink tie-dye. Very productive. It wasn't very productive for me last year, I have to admit. The first year it was, last year it really wasn't. But oh my God, the flavor on this thing, flavor explosion. Flavor explosion. And I know Alex agrees with me on this. He says it's one of the best tomatoes he's ever grown also. Oh, nothing happened to my love of bacon lettuce in this. I'm not growing it again this year, but I love bacon lettuce in this. I don't think I ever had it in the top, tied for top place, but it's up there in my top 5 for sure. Although there were some things last year that were really good, like one I'm going to talk about in a couple minutes. It's definitely in the top 10, I'll put it that way. But it was never tied for number 1. It's delicious, though. We love bacon lettuce in this. It's the best red tomato I've ever had, hands down. Of the 14 tomatoes I have room for, Suffer Well is one of them. Smart move. Smart move. I've got one popping up today, says Jen. Just checked. Oh, gosh. Must regrow Suffer Well. Chipmunk destroyed my seedling last year. That's tragic, Kelly. You must grow it. Christy's growing this one. Good. Good. I think you'll be in for quite a treat. I feel like Keena's had bad luck with this one. Did she finally get Suffer Well last year? I don't remember. I feel like year 1, she couldn't get it. And why am I feeling like last year she maybe didn't get it either? Something happened. I don't know. As you can see, by the way, mention that Brix over there, if you can't read it, is an 8.9. That's in a beefsteak tomato. That's really sweet. What else did we say about it? Intense tomato flavor, a bit of sweetness, and a complex tanginess similar to Berkeley pink tie-dye. What a tomato this is. Very productive. Yeah, so that's Suffer Well. All right. Another Joe Raris that I'm super excited about is called Supernova. He informed me that it's not one word, it is two words, super and nova. He loves this one. I'm really looking forward to growing it. It's an orange yellow beefsteak bred by Joe, meaty with lots of flavor, often superior to Kellogg's breakfast in production and fruit quality. If you have had trouble growing the big yellow tomatoes, this is one to try. He says, I know it's yellow, but the flavor is better than most beefsteak tomatoes. I will always grow this one. Tomato Faifu says it's large yellow bulging fruit, meaty, beefy flesh with an intense flavor. That's what got me. I've shared before that I'm not the biggest fan of yellows and oranges. For me, they're fine. Rob likes them in a sandwich. They tend to be a little mild for my taste, not tangy enough for me. But intense flavor is what really put this on my grow list when I saw that. Large, round, plump fruit weighing 300 grams. Very good flavor, dense beefsteak type flesh. Anybody else? Susan's growing it, Supernova. Irene's growing Suffer Well for the first time this year. Good move. I think you'll love it. Susan's growing Supernova. Did I already say that? Stacy's growing Supernova. Seed Seeking Saturday, here I come. Nicole's growing Suffer Well for the first time. Pretty's growing Suffer Well again, loved it last year. Jenny can't wait to taste Suffer Well this year. Good, glad to see so many of you guys growing it. I'm looking forward to Supernova also. How are we doing on time? What number are we on? I'll keep going a little while longer. Somebody in the group today in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap asked if I could post like an actual list of all of them. And I will. I've been thinking about doing it. I just wanted to wait until this last reveal episode. And I will. And there will also be things on there that I haven't talked about on the show. There will also be things omitted from the list that I'm not really allowed to talk about. Not trying to be all mysterious or anything, but there's various reasons for that. So I will put out a list for those of you that maybe missed an episode. I mean, they are still on my channel. You can check out episode 1, 2, 3, and 4. They seem to be super popular. Last I checked, they were getting some good reviews, or good views, not reviews, but good views on there. So I'm happy to see that. But I will put out a list in the group of everything that I've talked about at some point. Maybe next week. We'll see. All right, next one. This one just got on my grow list because I'm helping out somebody who lost a trade. It was confiscated by customs, and was looking for these seeds in particular, and I happen to have them from a trade. I only have 5 seeds. And then I'm like, I saw it on my inventory spreadsheet again, and I'm like, look at that thing. And then I looked for seeds, and you can find them in Canada, but you can't really find them in the United States at any vendors. And look at it. Look at this. It's called Worry Dwarf, part of the Dwarf Tomato Project from here in the United States. Craig LaHoulier bred it, and it was selected and stabilized by Stephen Warr. I've heard it's good. I've seen some of you in the group have grown it, and you really liked it. Worry is a dwarf tomato from the Dwarf Tomato Project, developed from a cross between Werra and Speckled Roman. That's what Craig did, and then later stabilized by Steph Warr, like I said. Produces medium to large red beefsteak tomatoes with golden orange striping on compact potato leaf plants that are about 3 feet tall, well suited to containers, has a sturdy growth habit, offers rich flavor and a good shelf life, making it a standout striped dwarf for small space growers. What else? Frankenfarm.ca in Canada says the sturdy little dwarf tomato produces lustrous, juicy tomatoes striped with yellow, orange, and red. It's a lovely candidate for a container as it is both petite and visually striking with its dense foliage and bright colors. So I'm definitely sticking this in a grow bag. Anybody grown it who is here today? Isn't this gorgeous? Gorgeous. Amanda growing this one. Just put seeds in soil yesterday. Nice. Hey, Cindy. Nice to see you. I know. Why has this been off my radar? I mean, I have had seeds. I don't know how long I've had the seeds. I didn't even mark down who I got the seeds from, and I always do. So I think I've had them for quite some time. Must be pretty old. But I stuck them right in soil. Are you leaving, Pat? Bye, my friend. Thanks for watching. Kim grew worry in 2024. They seem to be very readily available in Canada, but not here. What did you think, Kim? Jen's growing worry dwarf too. There are 2 versions of worry, though. So hopefully you have that one in the picture. Can you specify? Like, what are the 2 versions? I would like to know. I would like the one in the picture, too. The pictures are actually from 2 different places. The interior photos from a friend of mine. The one on the left is from, I think, Annapolis seed, maybe. I never grew worry, but the parent striped Roman is a good paste, in my opinion. Nice, nice. Oh, I'm so glad you're here. It's so nice to see you, my friend. I'm glad you got to come out today, too. Yvette Meyer says, worry is beautiful. I know. I'm hoping I stuck 2 seeds in soil like over the weekend. So I'm hoping I get germination. I can help share seeds for it. Good and sweet, but mine weren't as strikingly striped. Okay. Okay. Well, here's hoping for the strikingly striped. Love Action. I think I just talked about this one on my Thursday show a week or so ago. Another one bred by Bill. You can rest assured I don't know this song. It's from the Human League. I do love the Human League, but I do not know this song. I checked it out on YouTube, being sure that I would know it, and I didn't. This is Bleeding Heart and a pinkish variant of Beauty Queen that he discovered a decade ago. So Love Action. These are beautiful hearts. Love the coloring on this. Again, Bill is a color wizard, so have to grow it. All right, next. I talked about this one on, which show was it? Was it last Thursday's show? It was last Thursday's show because I went off a little bit on how I like some hybrids a lot. And we have nothing against hybrids in Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. And so after the show, I was showcasing this variety that I haven't grown in a couple of years. These are my photos. But I used to grow it all the time. And so I'm like, oh, let me talk about Little Napoli. And I shared about it. And I'm like, gosh, why am I not growing it this year? So I decided I was going to grow it this year. Wouldn't you know, I had already started seeds for them. Like I've got some very healthy dwarfs. It's more a compact than a dwarf, I should say. So I've already got them started. So I don't know why I didn't know I had them started. But this is a fantastic compact Roma tomato. It is an F1 hybrid. I've been dehybridizing this one for about 8 generations now. Not as easy as it seems. And it's nothing like the original. It's still short and compact, but it's round fruits. Still tastes really good. I've renamed it Little Napoleon. Hopefully I'll release it at some point. But these are delicious Roma tomatoes. They're very early season, and they just, obviously you get a ton of fruit from it, and they're delicious. So if you're looking for an early tomato with great flavor, like I get tomatoes from this by the 4th of July, which is kind of a little early for me to get tomatoes. I've had a few others, but this is a little early for me. Grow Little Napoli. I know others have also shared their love for this variety. Hey, Cindy. Nice to see you. Good morning. Good morning from the Philippines. Saw this one at Lowe's today. Now you're going to make me go back and get it. Yeah, I shared last Thursday that my first time ever growing it, we got a plant from Home Depot. Long time ago. And then I remember looking to see if I could get seeds for it, and seeds couldn't be found. Now you can find them at many places, but at the time I couldn't find seeds anywhere. And now I think Johnny sells it, Territorial, lots of places have it. Even Victory Seeds has it now, actually. Oh, Satya is growing Little Napoli this year. You'll have to let me know what you think. I really, really enjoy this one. And it will stay nice and short, maybe 28 inches. Okay, this one is another regrow from last year. Hazel Creek. Mike Williams, our friend Mike Williams, who I think is watching today, he got this one out into circulation for us all last year. Um, it is a delicious variety from Hazel Creek, North Carolina. Has a great story along with it. Did I write down the story? It's a long story, but the government, there's a town of Hazel Creek. The government was building Fontana Dam. They had to take people's homes away and their farms away. So they brought the seeds for this tomato with them and they named it Hazel Creek. He shared seeds with several of us last year. I grew two plants. One was a regular leaf, one was a potato leaf. The regular leaf was a red, and it was not anything memorable at all. So did not save seeds from it. But the pink was the potato leaf pink was something super special. So I am regrowing it again. It was one of the best tomatoes I've ever had in my life. And I must tell you though, I gave a lot of seeds for this away. And I only, like I said, I only saved seeds from the potato leaf. I had somebody in Europe tell me they got a regular leaf, and I'm like, that's weird. I started a bunch of seeds, and most of mine were potato leaf, but I think I have two regular leaf also. So, the, you know, will it turn out to be the pink tomato again? Probably, but there is a chance of you getting a regular leaf. It wouldn't be the red because I didn't save seeds from the red. So, perhaps the leaf type isn't completely 100% stable yet. Like I said, most of mine are potato leaf, but there are two regular leaf, and I just culled them. I'm not going to leave them, but I wouldn't be concerned. You will most likely get this delicious tomato. What did we rate it? A 9 out of 10. Brix was a 6.4. So, Mike, thank you for seeds for that. Jamie's growing Hazel Creek. Excellent. So is Stacy. And Dolan Jam has it on the wish list. Mayor Farm Afar is growing Hazel Creek, growing Hazel Creek, growing Hazel Creek. That's great. That's really great. I think you guys will love it. I felt so badly. Mike had asked me, the red one last year ripened for me before the pink, which is, I find pretty common. The reds go before the pinks. And when Rob and I tasted the red, we're like, oh my gosh, it's just not very good. And I'm like, what am I going to tell Mike? Because he was telling me that it'll beat bacon, lettuce, and this, and it will be my new favorite tomato. And I trust Mike. And I'm like, what am I going to tell him? So he asked me before the pink was ripe, and I'm like, it wasn't very good. But to be honest with you, there's a potato leaf version coming, and I think they're going to be pink. And they were completely different tomatoes, completely different. So there must have been some kind of a mix up in the boxes of tomatoes that the residents of Hazel Creek gave to Mike. The correct one, he says, is the pink potato leaf. And it's delicious, delicious, delicious. Falcon in the Garden says, need to add Hazel Creek to my fall garden. I have a few seeds given to me. Nice, very nice. Once potato leaf shows, it's locked unless a bee cross or hand cross occurs. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. I think it would be, well, I don't know. I don't know. I've had it happen with a few things this year, so we will see. But I wouldn't be all concerned. Hopefully you will get this pink potato leaf masterpiece. Mike is actually sending me, he has sent me seeds for something else from an Appalachian gem that I'll be growing this year too, that I think I'm adding to my grow list this year. So thanks, Mike. Okay, this one's called Madrid. It's an F5 variety from France. I got seeds from Lux Tomatoes about a year or so ago. And Sophia Sakava's site has it also. That's where these photos come from. She says it's a high-yielding tomato with excellent flavor. It's stunningly beautiful, productive, and has it all. It's a 2-meter-tall, vigorous greenhouse bush. Mid-early, produces long-lasting bicolor fruits. Originally a hybrid from Clausa, France. I don't know what hybrid this was, but at F5, it's not going to be stable, so I'll be curious to see what I get. Lux Tomatoes version, look, their F4 seeds look the same, So we shall see. Is anybody else growing this one? Ooh, Madrid looks delicious. Ongwei says, ooh, Brianna Marie, you ain't lying. Yeah, it does look delicious. I don't know why I didn't grow it last year. But the shape, the coloring, it looks fantastic. So I'm looking forward to that one. All right, how many more are we going to do here? I'm getting kind of tired. So let's just do 3 more. 4 more. Let's do 4 more. Lime in the Coconut by Ongwei ES. This was on many a grow list for many years from Ongwei, otherwise known as Phil Seneca. This is another one. Ongwei says it's supposed to be potato leaf, but sometimes you get regular leaf. And I've been culling the regular leaf, but I am getting some regular leaf from it. So for those of you that have seeds, don't worry. Ongwei did say that can happen, but he prefers it to be potato leaf, but it can often showcase the regular leaf as well. What do we know about it? He says on his site, Good Mind Seeds, just what the doctor ordered. Tropical fruitiness and a hint of citrus come together in the ivory white flesh of lime in the coconut tomato, which actually does taste as though there's a hint of coconut. Selecting from multiple mother plants to maintain genetic broadness, lime in the coconut has potato leaf foliage the majority of the time. The thick vines grow to be 6 feet long in ideal conditions and do not stop producing new fruits and flowers until they meet the frost. The flattened round fruits have a thick, meaty center that can be used diced into fresh white and green salsas and pico de gallo, or it can be cooked into an ivory yellow tomato sauce that will change the way you look at white pizza forever. If you enjoy midnight margaritas, why not include some magical white salsa and organic corn tortilla in the tradition? Put the lime in the coconut. Lime in the coconut. Then you'll feel better. Very excited. I did start seeds for this over the winter. Now, I didn't grow it out like I did Prince Charming's Bastard because I knew Prince Charming's Bastard was a dwarf and that I could grow it indoors. Lime in the coconut's not. It's an indeterminate. But I did, because the seeds were older that Ongwei had shared, I think these were 2014, if I'm not mistaken. I wanted to test them to make sure that they would germinate, and they did. They germinated. I think the original batch over the winter, I think, took 2 weeks, but I didn't continue on with those. And the ones I started back in early March germinated, very easily. So I know some of you are growing this along with me. That'll be a treat. It was really nice to grow Prince Charming's Bastard over the winter. I shared that, I think last week's episode, I shared like the interior shot and all of that with that one. So liming the coconut will be new to me, as it is for many of you. And drink it all up. Pretty's growing Madrid. Jen says, I'm so happy. I got seeds for this from you, Lauren. Fingers crossed they germinate. I'm excited to try this one. I think you'll have a good time, easy time germinating. They haven't been problematic for me this time around. I'm definitely growing lime in the coconut next year after our grow out. Yes, Haley's so excited for this, so ready for this one. Our friend who loves white tomatoes. River Rock Farms growing Hazel Creek. Laura, I got my Hazel Creek seeds from you, so I'll keep you posted how they grow. Very nice. Mayor from Afar is growing Madrid too. I'm so excited that people like Lauren are keeping lime in the coconut alive. Are you kidding? We've been so excited for this one. Hey, Akelia, I'm growing worry too. Good. Good. We'll get seeds more readily available for that one. The lime in the coconut. This is another regrow. I grew it in 2023. I missed 2024. I loved it in 2023. I don't know why I didn't do it again in 2024. Then 2025, I said, I'm growing it this year, and I'm growing it again in 2026. It's tied with Nanos for my favorite dwarf of all time. Dwarf Awesome, named appropriately. These photos were from last year. You can see the interior. That's a 7.1 bricks. This is a productive dwarf for me. Look at the coloring. Just look. Let's just look for a minute. Let's have a moment of silence. It's awesome. It's awesome. In 2023, our Instagram review says delicious. Wasn't expecting to love this tomato since usually the yellow orange ones I feel are bland. And that's not necessarily true. Bicolors I don't find are bland. Um, Yellows alone, oranges alone, bland for the most part for me. Bicolors aren't necessarily bland. So I don't stand by that statement from 2023. Super sweet, but also had a hint of acidity, which made it a full flavored and delicious taste. Very flavorful. Inside looks exactly like the inside of a peach. I wrote, taste reminds us a bit of banana noir. Maybe. Deliciously sweet tomato at first bite. Has just enough acidity to make it an amazing full-bodied flavor bomb. We both absolutely loved it. We devoured the entire thing within minutes. Rob and I both agree that we love light salt on tomatoes, but if a variety needs salt, it is likely not one we will grow again. And by the way, we never put salt on tomatoes that we're testing. We only do it after the fact, like on a sandwich and stuff, or in a salad. Dwarf Awesome needs no salt. It is simply an incredible tomato. We are picky with our reviews, and there are not many that get a 9 out of 10 from us, but Dwarf Awesome most definitely gets a 9 out of 10. And I am most definitely using this in a cross idea this year. Dwarf Awesome is another one I'm growing this year. Hope you like it. Cindy, I grew Dwarf Awesome last year because of you, and then it became permanent in my garden. So you liked it too, right? It's so good. So the breeder, I should mention the breeder, Soren Linneman, and it was stabilized by Linda Black for the Dwarf Tomato Project. Didn't germinate for me. That's too bad. I'm growing Awesome too. Very nice. In Dirt Now, says Susan. I'm so sad I had to cut Dwarf Awesome this year. Right now, resisting changing that. Jen says, I think I'm growing enough whites that I can make a white pasta sauce this year. That would be nice, right? I tried making a green pasta sauce and a green salsa last year, and they're just not. The pasta sauce was not the greatest color. Salsa is great, but once you cook it down, it gets a little like split pea soup. There you go. Hooray for more inspired crosses using good tomatoes like this. Yeah, I don't know that I'll ever cut this from my grow list again. It's just too good. Dwarf Awesome. Pretty in pink. Oh, no, wait. Hang on. Different octave. Pretty in pink, isn't she? Pretty in... Ooh, that's brutal. Pretty in pink, isn't she? Da-na-na-da. It's Psychedelic Furs, and I never understand what they're saying in the song. I love the Psychedelic Furs. Pretty in Pink. That's all I know what they say in that song. But it's a great song. It's from the movie Pretty in Pink. Another one of Bill Yoder's. He really likes this one. One of his new favorite varieties. That's all he says. Man, a few words on this one. I believe he's selling it on his website. Anybody else growing Pretty in Pink? Pretty in Pink. Achille, you missed a lot of singing, I've got to tell you. Although a lot of Bill's songs that I'm showing today, I didn't know how they went, believe it or not. So fortunately, you missed me singing The Police and a couple others. Isn't she pretty in... I don't sound good on any day, but I'm not meant to sing this song. Pretty in Pink, isn't she? This is another regrow from last year, purely because I have a cross idea. I'm not going to be able to do all these crosses I want to make, but right now I have it growing. Red House Freestanding. It was a great one. We rated an 8 out of 10 last year. Brix was a 5.6. This is the epitome of tangy, like really tangy. Obviously sweet too. 5.6 is, has some sugars in it, but it's one of those that makes you pucker. Like Jaune Flemme from France, that excellent variety, which I don't know why I haven't grown that again. It's a real pucker variety, but delicious. Very, very compact. Blaine Horton had told me in the spring of 2025 that if I could get my hands on seeds for this, to definitely grow it. And I reached out to Bounty Hunter had it listed on their site, but they didn't have it in stock. But Sean had say he had a couple seeds that he sent me, so I grew it, and I shared seeds with a lot of you also. So I hope some of you are growing it. It's a really great variety. I did review it on my Instagram also. What did I say? Rugose leaves, grew to only about 30 inches tall, compact plant, thick stem, needed very little support. Interior carried through dark red color, meaty heart surrounded by a wonderful amount of locules with lots of seeds and goo. My favorite has delightful sweetness, but the true story here is the extreme tartness and salinity. It's a variety that makes you pucker and has such intense flavor. If you are a sucker for tomatoes that have intense flavor, Red House Freestanding is a great one for you to grow. While I had high hopes based on what Blaine had told me, this far exceeded my expectations. And then I wrote, not easy to find. Croatian Seed Store does carry it if you're able to order from them. So hopefully I gave out a lot of seeds and it's no longer hard to find, and many of you will grow it this year, hopefully, and share seeds as well. That's always my hope when people want to like send me something. I don't necessarily need anything back, but just grow it, and if it does well for you, share seeds, and we can just keep these varieties into circulation with all of us, because these varieties have important stories, or they're just getting started and they deserve, a history associated with it. So, and that's what we do at Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. Please join us. We're a wonderful community, and many of the people in the chat today are in it. And if you're not, please join us. We have 95 live viewers, and I think that's going to be... All right, we'll talk about one more. One more. We're already over 2 hours. I promise... Oh, Achilles growing it. Great. Good, good, good. It's on the list. Oh my gosh, this is the most torturous question. Can I pretend I didn't see it? If you have to pick only one between Malapine, Angweias, or Suffer Well, which of the three would you pick? It's like asking me who my favorite child is. Oh my gosh. That's really tough. That's really tough. Suffer Well. It's Suffer Well. And I mean, all three are fantastic. It would have to be, if I could only eat one tomato for the rest of my life, it would be Suffer Well. Thanks for torturing me with that one. No, it's a very good question. It's a very good question. What seed company sells this tomato types? Baker Creek. No, Baker Creek generally won't have anything that I'm talking about. But if you join our community, Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap, we have something called Seed Seeking Saturday. So any of the varieties I'm talking about today or any of my other shows, you can put in Seed Seeking Saturday. You can put up to 5 varieties each week that you're looking for. And chances are somebody will get you these seeds. And there's nothing wrong with the more common varieties. And believe it or not, even though Baker Creek, their website is rareseeds.com, anything that they sell is not really considered rare anymore. They're pretty big scale at this point. They started off being rare seeds, and now they're pretty commonplace. Their varieties is in the tomato world. But there's great vendors out there like Bounty Hunter Seeds, and there isn't one vendor that's going to sell everything that I'm showing. In fact, some of the things I'm showing you won't find at any vendors yet. But join a community like ours. I think really, especially ours, is incredibly generous, and you're going to find the most rare seeds of any other community on our site. Please join. Yeah, please do check out the site. We would love to have you. Thanks for watching. I don't know if it's your first time, but thanks for watching. There's a lot more in the tomato world that a lot of people don't realize. There's some really great old American Appalachian varieties like Hazel Creek that I talked about, things that have been around a long time that really just, Cherokee Purple's pretty popular. They're starting to sell that at places like Home Depot and stuff. And don't get me wrong, that's a great tomato. Like, that's one of my favorite tomatoes of all time too. But there's a lot of the more obscure ones that really deserve growing and cultivating and saving seeds and then sharing seeds with our friends. It really, it's fun. It's fun to learn what other countries grow. And just, they can all be so incredibly different, each variety. Like a tomato is not just a tomato, they taste very different. Cindy says, I have sufferwell growing right now, and one fruit is ripening. I'm getting more curious how it is. Can't wait to taste it. Ah, I hope you get that one. Sorry, you're only getting one. I've got to imagine your season's winding down, right? Mary says, I got Red House freestanding years ago from Seeds of Change and have grown it off and on. Really? Seeds of Change had it. That's interesting. Go figure. All right. Last one. Blushing Beauty. So unfortunate. This is the only photo of this that I could find. This is a variety. I'm also, in addition to the Old South Seeds Grow Out, I'm hosting for Tomato Lovers Collective and Swap. I'm also hosting the Lee Goodwin and Angwe ES. Those are my three this year. So very excited for those three. This is one of Lee Goodwin's varieties. What makes it intriguing to me is the cross is Rosa de Bern and Cherokee Purple. I love trying anything crossed with Cherokee Purple. I'm interested. Deep dusky pink lobes are flawless and spicy sweet. The variety is dependable, adaptable, and very productive, making it a favorite for market gardening. There will be dozens of these 8-ounce beauties ripening at any one time on the sturdy 6-foot vines, putting most commercial hybrids to shame. So there you go, gang. That's 130 varieties I've talked about in 4 shows. There's probably about 40 more that I haven't talked about that I will put some of them on the list. Others I need to keep off for various reasons. And honestly, some of them, like on my list of 180, like some of them, like my own crosses, I'm growing 4 plants. So I've got it listed 4 times. So it's not necessarily 180 original varieties. Some of them are repeats. Like nanos. Nanos, I'm growing 2 plants this year. Considering more though, now that I talk about these things and my mouth salivates, I'm like, oh yeah, that's really good. So thank you all for watching. If you're new to the show, hope to see you at my Thursday. This show too. Friday, Jen and I will have Angwe ES as our guest on our show. We do this the first Friday of each month, Tomato Talk Live. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But every single Thursday, this show is now over, my grow list video. I'll be doing garden tours on Wednesdays starting in the summer and maybe some unboxings and stuff until then. But no Wednesday show next week. That will be Ken Fry is taking that time next week. Tomorrow, my regular Thursday show, that is not changing. Tomorrow's show, first of the month, of course, will be sponsored by Inspired Garden Life, who make these great tomato and gardening shirts, and they will be giving away 5 shirts, 3 gift cards like usual. They're incredibly generous. They reached out to me today. They said they want to sponsor Jen's new show, also Jen's gardening show. Incredibly generous people, Tim and Darylyn. So tune in tomorrow at the same time, 4 o'clock Eastern. I know the clock's changed in Europe, so now we're back to 9 o'clock UK time, 9 p.m. UK time, and 10 p.m. Central European Standard Time, I believe. So hope to see you then. Thanks all for watching. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful season. Peace, love, get your gratitude on, and go grow tomatoes. Bye, everybody. Let's see if we can get some music to take us out. No.